Accra Declaration, West Africa Regional Workshop on Youth Information, Communication Technology and Global Challenges, Accra 2015.
Yes.
We, the youth of West Africa, united on the Universal Declaration, Article 1 and 29, that all human beings are born free and equal in dignity and rights, endowed with and reason and conscience to act towards one another in spirit of brotherhood, that everyone has the duty to the community in which alone food development is possible with and vision of international association for advancement of innovative approaches to global challenges, in bracket IAA/GLOCHA, bracket close. We draw inspiration from youth movements around the world with particular reference to ITUBYND 2015, Global Youth Summit Declaration and Colabo Declaration on mainstreaming youth in the post-2015 development agenda, which highlighted specific needs of global youth in field of ICT development. We as West African youth believe that we can become key contributors to building an inclusive global information system and bridging the digital divide in West Africa and ultimately contribute significantly towards addressing myriad of social, of school and economic challenges that have been the lead our region and
that have bedeviled our
region, and which constitute important global challenges. Like drop waters in the ocean, we can and shall contribute to the development of respective communities as mandated by the Universal Declaration, and we call upon global community and our local public authorities to equip us with the resources to do so. We, the youth of 4 countries of West Africa, representing the 18 million youth movement in the region, have gathered to define our vision for the beginning of a new promising journey of West Africa youth towards ICT-empowered, globally connected, youth-focused development, and to address the great leaders of tomorrow. Poverty, illiteracy, high rates of unemployment, and limited access to ICTs are some of those challenges that are still causing suffering for thousands of millions of youth in our region. Our generation faces unpredictable changes and rapid transition to knowledge-based economies. As IAA mobilized the youth in Europe and then applied to the world to provide resources, we have now mobilized ourselves and now appeal to the leaders of West Africa, ECOWAS, and its member states that would lead and world leaders to 1. Recognize youth as powerful agents of change and ensure active participation of youth in political processes. Encourage and invest in the access of innovative use of ICTs that empowers the youth to contribute to sustainable socio-economic development. For example, establish ICT training centers for youth, support regular ICT-related youth engagement activities in West Africa, include the youth in decision-making, planning and implementation of all ICT-related policy at all levels. I think I'm on the 5th one. Push for the youth to have a stronger role in cultural relevant, economical sustainable ICT program development and implementation to empower their communities, particularly from the grassroots. The last one in that section. Increase focus on professional ICT training and education for youth.
These were general statements made, if you, as it were, to the world. Then we came to our specific commitments as a group. Then we followed up with what society should do, what corporate bodies should do in that order. So You take a listen to that. Let's move on.
Section 1.
Okay.
We, the youth of West Africa, commit ourselves to 1.1. Do our part in building stronger communities by using invaluable ICT knowledge, resources, energy, resources, and networks of young people to contribute to the socio-economic development of our communities. 1.2. Establish and strengthen regional networks to build youth structures for the implementation of ICT training centers. I.3. Further utilize social media and emerging technologies to advocate, share ideas, and communicate efficiently. I.4. Channel social energy, drive, change for the development of ICT skills to promote so-called economic growth within our communities. I.5. Live up to expectation in national and international law by acting and standing up to promote youth engagement and empowerment through modern information and communication technology. I.6. Foster entrepreneurial and innovative action towards the public good among the West African youth. Among the youth of West Africa in post-2015 development agenda. I.7. Lead the Universal Declaration as agent of change in our communities. Section 3. We call on IAAI to rally 3.1. Rally public-private education service providers to build capacity of the youth through ICT training under the auspices. Okay, auspices of the GLOCHA Innovate Initiative. Okay. Coordinate research, monitor and evaluate the GLOCHA initiative and projects together with all stakeholders. Point 3. Collaborate with faith-based organizations and traditional authorities. Provide ICT training for youth. Section 4. Section 4. We call on our representative societies in West Africa to, point 1, enable youth to take a leadership role in promoting social economic growth in our community using ICT training and education such as Global Change, GLOCHA, Youth and ICT Center initiatives. 2. Include youth at the grassroots in decision-making processes. 3. Declare that any form of resources deprivation in the form of accessible ICT training and education in contrary to Article 1 of Universal Declaration of Human Rights as equal access to the Internet is a manifestation of equal dignity and equal rights of all human beings and is a precondition for the development of the full potential of youth in the progress of the society. Section 5. We call on the government of West Africa and on the international community. 1. Ensure allocation of 1% budgetary allocation backed by the necessary legislative instrument as central contribution towards the development of ICT. Section 2. Pursue practically and effective ICT education and infrastructure development at all levels to guarantee the fundamental rights of citizens to education and information. 3. Ensure the promotion of public-private partnership to allocate ICT availability, accessibility, and affordability at all levels of nation building in establishing ICT centers across board. 4. Work towards removing the barriers that hamstring the development of ICT knowledge and skills of the youth and to expand access to ICT for young people. 5. Ensure that education is applied in order to prevent our young people from misusing and abuse of opportunities offered by information and communication technologies. 6. Respect international declarations that recognize the role of youth in post-2015 sustainable development. 7. Seriously address the issue of widening ICT knowledge gap that exists between young people in West Africa and their counterparts in other regions of the world, such as Europe and Asia, and also bridge the knowledge gap among young people in urban centers and those in rural economic deprived areas. Follow through existing commitments on youth empowerment and skills development. Section 6. We call on all telecommunication service and ICT providers to ensure data package, kits and equipment that ensure a fully functional public-private funded ICT centers available. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. There's one key issue that the House deliberated on. That's the issue of female or girl-child education. We thought that there are a number of initiatives that are already ongoing, directed at the girl child. And so we are actually mobilizing a new force to get onto a global platform where we are seen as ICT literate people and in the process contribute to national development. That is actually our focus. So we felt that let's not toe the line of gender, whether male or female. Once we are targeting the youth, whether you are male or female, you are inclusive. I think that was generally the conclusion. So if you did not hear any specific mention of female education, that has been the consensus. Then also, you realize at the point when we were calling on corporate bodies, particularly ICT and then telecommunication service providers, we realized there is a huge debate as to whether they giving to society should be seen as a moral obligation or a legal obligation. The conclusion generally is that as of now, current practice is they are going by moral obligation. So we needed more to appeal to them than to hold them by the law. So we decided to appeal to them to provide us with certain specifics, i.e. data packets, just ensuring that whenever a PPP comes up with a training center, they should be able to ensure that it is fully functional through the kind of kits or gadgets that they are able to provide us with. So that has been the tone or the voice that is used in that particular section 2, without actually compelling them legally to do what they ought to do. I think for now, these are the major areas that we have reviewed. If you have any other reaction, we'll take them briefly and then we will be wrapping up. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I have a reaction on the gender.
Okay.
And I wasn't in your group, but looking at where we find ourselves in development work now, I'm not saying we should prioritize gender, but at least if we should say that we are going to give gender-friendly trainings, it will give our declaration more weight.
More
so
power.
We need to capture gender.
Gender-friendly. Thank you, thank you, thank you. The decision of the House on this matter, what should it be? We have to at least bring in some components of gender without necessarily focusing. I think that's what she. Support. As many as support say aye. The ayes have it. So I think that we would look at that. We would look at that. Please, can we stand up and sing 2 youth solidarity songs before we proceed with our? I see a lot of people a bit tired. We can't go on with this kind of energy.
I beg to say that we did not take lunch.
Yes.
Let's do things
quickly and wrap up. Okay, is that the decision of the House? Yes. All right, thank you. We move on. Now, the next business for the day is for us to look at.
Yes.
Well,
I'm coming from environmental side.
Okay.
But I haven't seen anything in this document which says that we use ICT to promote environmental sustainability.
Well, we mentioned in essence, we'll be contributing to sustainable development. So whether I believe it's social or environmental, I think it all fits into.
Socio-economic development running through.
But we mentioned specifically that in sustainable development, considering post-2015 agenda. So that's, I think when you have the full document, you will be able to.
If he has any suggestion, which means
you can forward it to us again and then we can modify. Thank you very much. All right, the business for the day. I think we have.
I also have a suggestion to make.
All right, please can you channel all of these to our mates so that we can discuss?
No, this is. I think this is meant to be very immediate.
Okay.
Where we use personal pronouns in our declaration. I think we should move away from that. Where, for example, we have from the beginning, the first paragraph, we, the youth of West Africa. I think that should rather go suggestively, yeah. Glocha youth of West Africa. I think that.
Glocha is still at the pilot phase, so I don't. Still, Glocha is at the pilot phase or at the pilot stage, so we do not. We already are represented here as what? Youth activists. I think that is how I see the house, so that is why. Please, for those of you who may have further comments or inputs into what we have, see Maxwell and get our email address.
Just put the email address for that place and then they pick it up.
Just put it.
Maxwell,
Send it to Maxwell at Glocha.
Put it on the
please
board.
put it on the board for everybody.
Then they can pick it up.
All right. At least we have made some progress by way of where we are taking our declaration. The next thing is for us to look at what we should task ourselves to do, so that some people are giving some specific tasks. From here, we know 2 months on, this person is reporting on that, that person is, but it should all be in line with our declaration. So for now, what I want us to do, already we've been given a list of possible partners from the UN and from the ministries and district assemblies and whatnot. We are going to break into our 4 teams. And
I thought we were.
we should just do it together. Okay. All right. I think the team approach will not work now because it's late. Let's look at an action plan, a very brief one for that matter. My agenda here is such that we need to first commit ourselves in-house, those of us represented here. We want to come up with a 4-member team, right? That would be given the task of ensuring that some feasibility is done on the ground. So whatever we are doing is consistent with what is already being done. We can't just assume that the beautiful ideas we have here are not already on paper elsewhere. So we want a 4-member team that will look into, say again, it should be all there. Thank you for that. 5-member team, thank you. We want a 5-member team that will look into what it is that is on the ground by way of ICT training and education across all the various member countries that are here. So for that task, I want us to quickly appoint those 5 people. Of course, I believe the best approach would be for us to appoint the delegates from the various regions. I don't know if that approach will work best for us. I think for now, we are hard pressed for time, so we need to short circuit some of the things. So let's see by hand those who are representing the various countries here, quickly. Please, can you be outstanding? We have Togo, we have Burkina Faso, we have...
Just
One, please. Just one, the leaders. Togo, Nigeria, Burkina Faso.
please.
You are for Ghana, please.
Oh, no. That's true.
And then we have Burkina Faso.
Okay.
And you? You do this.
No.
Yeah.
I want to get it clear. I want to get it clear. Are you for Burkina Faso?
Yeah, I'm talking about
Yeah, together.
Oh.
Okay. Okay.
from Burkina Faso.
But another person can also represent from Ghana then.
No, I think let's leave it as it is. Okay, so we have these 4 people already representing 5. I think you should join them to make it 5. But we need 5. But Nigeria, I believe Nigeria is very much,
Yes.
you know, a larger,
And gender. So
and then we need to also bring in.
Somebody from Ghana. One person from Ghana. Yeah.
The team shouldn't be so large so that coordination would be.
Opposite day is the coordinator for IAI in Nigeria, and Abdul and myself. So we have to look at that way then. And we also have another person from Burkina Faso. I needed somebody to support me from Ghana.
I then want to ask that the committee that has been set, I want to know, is it supposed to be IAI committee?
No.
Or
No.
the delegates?
The delegates.
Thank you.
Then I'll propose that the coordinators
Should be
step aside and be in charge of receiving the outcomes from the committee.
I agree. That's what I'm saying.
So,
What I'm saying is that the coordinators, we already have a unit tax ahead. But whatever the committees find them as, we are going to look at it and then have a, but so you cannot do some work and then go do it yourselves again.
That's what my vision when
the participants here constitute that committee. They do the appraisal afterward.
okay, so in that case, we can introduce the component of gender.
Yes.
So that the representatives from the other countries, I mean, let's see the ladies from the various countries. Starting with the ladies. You are from Ghana. Okay. So please, you should be asked.
Please.
You are from Nigeria. I will need to present
The lady from Burkina Faso too.
So
the lady from Burkina Faso.
from